owner-operated ESG can opener. See, I like it. ESG is going back to its roots.
Opening cans.
Yeah, that's about it. It's an all-new, terrific
right.
Tuesday edition of Business Bands featuring Analyst Hall, Matt Moscardi. Wow.
Wow, what a get.
On today's Black Rock flavored oatmeal, it's just flavored. We can't get like Black Rock chunks, like raisins? Just flavored?
When you say chunks, doesn't sound better.
Called August 19th, 2025, a quizzy, blamey game train wreck mashup quiz. I don't know.
Oh, wow. You just sold that hard.
I don't know what we're doing. We're combining a lot of weird concepts, and we're basically quizzing each other on headlines and stupid
I have a blame
stuff.
game for you. I'm like, so
And I have a quiz.
now I'm deeply curious about your thoughts and feelings because
you're
you
not.
were quoted in a Fortune article where
Let's mention that.
someone
Yeah.
listened to the show.
I want to call her out because
Lila McClellan.
Lila McClellan, she's a senior writer at Fortune. She covers topics in leadership, and here's why I want to specifically mention her, because as you know, I tag thousands of articles every month.
Yeah.
I look at way more than that. Lila's actually someone that we enjoy.
We tag her all the time.
She's always on my radar. I love her topics. Just some recent ones that we've actually talked about in the show. A long-running anti-DEI lawsuit could help companies defend themselves from reverse racism claims. And then we talked about this horrible story, Match Group's rape problem.
Yep.
A lawsuit alleges that inaction by Tinder and Hinge's owner allowed abusers to stay on the apps. And now she has a story about something that we covered. She calls it the Bro IPO Summer. Women are missing from board and C-suites in the current surge of public offerings. So, Lila, thank you. We're already a fan, Lila, but this is great. Thanks.
This is great. And the best part is she quoted you from the show, and now I want to hear all your
what
thoughts
did she quote?
and feelings.
My stuttering, mumbly mess? What did she
Yeah,
what is there to quote?
well, with the concept of the bro PO is a very
because you actually talked to her, so she avoided me.
Well, I mean, I think
She
you were
was
at the
smart to
dentist
avoid
office
me.
getting like a rectal
No.
exam or something. I
Yeah,
don't know what was going on.
Yeah, she told me she lost my number.
All right, shall we play a game?
Yeah,
let's
play a
some
game.
games. So you're just going to quiz me, and then I am going to quiz you.
Yeah, it's a
with
little
blame game.
random. I've kind of picked like 3 random companies. I don't even know why.
I mean, it's fine.
Maybe it's just time for a quiz.
It's
Maybe
time
it's
for
just
a
healthy.
quiz. All right,
It's healthy.
let's get some quiz music going.
Consider
I
me
wanna
your
feel
least
the
favorite
intensity.
geography teacher. All right, here we go.
All right.
We're going to start with Casey's General Stores.
Ooh, Casey's
I don't even-
Generals. Hey, you ever been to one of those?
No, I don't even know what it is. Is it like a Cracker Barrel?
No. I think
It
they're.
sounds very red state. What is it?
Yeah, they do like pizza and food.
No, they
it's like
don't.
convenience stores. It's
Really?
like bodegas. Yeah. It's only in the South and the Midwest.
No
and they're
one-
famous for their food.
No one who's ever gone to Casey's General Store has ever heard of a bodega.
That's true.
right,
Bodega
so-
is not a Casey's General concept.
Okay, I'm going to start this. So at last year's annual meeting in August, shareholders were asked yes or no on CEO Darren Robilet's pay plan.
Oh.
Okay, to help them make a decision on the pay practices, they had information like the ratio of the annual total compensation of KC General Store's CEO to that of its median employee for the 2024 fiscal year.
The pay
right?
ratio. Yeah.
Yes, this is commonly known as the CEO pay ratio. So let's begin the quiz there. Let's begin the quiz with information in the filing document, SEC's filing document. According to the company's SEC filing, at what point in the fiscal year 2024 did CEO Darren earn the compensation of his company's median employee? At what point?
You see what you did there? That's an overly clever question because I have to guess the ratio first in my head, and then do the math to figure out at what point in the year and or time.
Yeah.
Because I know it's in the first day.
This is a college course. This is high school's over.
Apparently I've graduated. I'm in the big
and there's
leagues
no
now.
multiple choice either.
Okay, so Casey's General is like retail, right? Like it's like a
so you'd
retail
assume
store.
that
It's
not
got
going
to
to be it's not going to be much higher than the worker, right? Because if it's a folksy kind of environment, you wouldn't want to have a CEO who's paid too much.
The retail stores are the ones where you get all like the mooks that they all call partners who are making $12 an hour. Yeah. and the CEO somehow always makes 40 million.
It's like indentured servitude where the workers can't even afford the crummy pizzas.
I can't imagine it's much less than like, the average I think for the S&P 500 is around 270 or 300, to 1. So I can't imagine the retail average has got to be like 600 to 1. So I'm going to go with, just to make the math simple, I'm going to go with by lunchtime on the first day of the year.
Well, you're good at this. Hey, give yourself a ding.
Ooh, I like a ding.
You obviously know your subject. So if anyone else is writing an article on us, Wall Street Journal, ask Matt because he knows stuff. So, and I love doing this now because I have a nice relationship with Google Gemini, and I ask them this question a lot, and they do the math for me, and I enjoy it. And I think Gemini enjoys it too because they come up with this great answer, and they explain how they get there. But as of the first day of the work year, which we're going to call January 1st, just to make it easy.
Yeah, well, it's the first day of the year.
Yeah. CEO Darren Robillé at Casey's General Stores at 12:35.
Wow,
in 33 seconds. So right
seconds.
During the lunch period.
Yeah.
He makes the same. He makes already his median employee salary. His pay ratio is 579 to 1. I mean, that's absurd.
That's close, actually.
Yeah. Or as Lila quoted me for her article, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. That was your quote. That was your quote.
But
I just like
it's crazy.
You say that a lot now. Do you think which of the following?
We've lost all morality. We've lost all morality in this system of governance in corporate America. We've we've lost hold of morality. How can a CEO make as much as his worker by lunchtime on the first day? That's sick. I'm sorry.
I want to know which of the following menu items from Casey's General Stores is the CEO eating when he's made as much as the median employee? Is it the pizza, the made from scratch pizza, the wings, a sandwich or a salad? Like they have fresh wraps. They got burgers.
Wait, it's a restaurant.
It's like a convenience store, but they sell like food. I just want to know. Is it?
I want to give you more information from the.
I would guess it's the turkey cheddar 6-inch sub. That's what my guess would be.
I might eat that. Additionally, the CEO's Target Equity Award was about $7 million last year. Okay. In the worst case scenario where every single peer company outperformed Casey's, right, in terms of total shareholder return, everybody, it was the worst performing. In that horrible worst case scenario where the company is horrible, how much equity could the CEO still receive? So his target is $7 million. So nothing.
No,
does he have to give money back?
Come on. Not even close. He will make 75% of that. That's always the number.
Wow.
Like, isn't that the bottom?
Again, give yourself a ding.
Yeah, that's the bottom.
That's exactly right. The TSR modifier, if every single company outperforms his, is only a reduction of minus 25%, meaning that no matter what happens, he's going to get $5 million in equity. No matter what happens, doesn't matter how much he sucks.
What a great deal. What a great deal that is.
I've given you those two important bits of information. That's also information that all investors get. So accordingly, based on that, based on what you have just learned, what percentage do you think of Casey's shareholders voted against his pay practice, against the pay plan? What percentage? Against.
Against. You want the against, right?
Those are just two of the bits of information in the proxy. But
again, I'm not looking at any of these production notes, so I don't. I'm going to guess 2.3% voted against.
Okay. Again, you're dinging. You sure you didn't look? You're getting
is that the actual number?
Well, actually, I'll look at the actual. It is two. I always, you know me. I always round.
You're a rounder.
Yeah. I hate the point. It's 2%. Yeah, 2%
voted
against.
That's good. That sounds like the average vote against for anything.
That sounds like a couple of investors with a fat thumb accidentally.
Yeah,
hit no. All right, bonus question.
And Vivek Ramaswamy's, ex-Strive, they voted against every compensation package. One thing I like that they did.
Yeah. Bonus question. According to the company's latest filing, 2025 filing, at what point in the fiscal year would CEO Darren earn the compensation of his company's median employee? So remember, last year it was 1235. So what do you think it is this year?
I mean, it always gets closer and closer to breakfust. That's
closer to the doomsday clock. Yeah.
The move is to see how close to breakfast.
1235 last year.
I'm gonna guess 11:57.
I think I'm going to say you're wrong in this one. No, it actually shifted over 3 minutes and 28 seconds, so it's 12:32.
Oh, well, look.
But we're getting there.
We're getting closer.
I think his goal is to earn as much as his average worker before noon. That's the ultimate F.
Really, is that it? I feel like it would be before bagels.
Lunch, right before
I feel
lunch.
like it would be before bagels.
All right, that's Casey's general stories. Let's move on to CrowdStrike Holdings. Okay.
All companies that everyone loves to talk about.
And here's this is why I picked this story. There was a recent back to Fortune. A recent Fortune article called "Laying Off Workers Because of AI is More of a Fashionable Excuse Than a Real Business Imperative." So they cite CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz linking a 5% job cut across the board to the cybersecurity companies' need to double down on AI investments to accelerate execution and efficiency. That's his excuse. George Kurtz said, AI flattens our hiring curve and helps us innovate from idea to product faster. So again, there's no reality based on this. He's just using it as an excuse to fire some people.
I don't even know what those words mean.
Right, nor would you. First question. Are CrowdStrike shareholders also given the privilege to, quote, accelerate execution and efficiency?
Ooh.
How many total years does it take for a CrowdStrike investor to vote on all 9 board members?
Oh, all 9. Because the answer is then it's a staggered board, and the answer is going to be 3 or 4. They never do.
Yes,
by the end of the 4th year, right? They would have voted on everybody. Yeah.
So it takes 3 years. How is that? How can they accelerate an execution and efficiency if you're an investor? It takes 3 years just to weigh in. This is important because this year, 2 of the 3 members up for vote, the pay committee chair Carrie Davis and the nomination committee chair Laura Shoemaker, both got over 30% against.
Yeah, because the investors hate the staggered board and they just take it out on whoever's up for vote.
Well, oddly, the CEO only got 2% against. He was also up for vote. Yeah, so I don't. So we
didn't CrowdStrike have the massive failure that turned off everybody's computers?
You're peeking ahead. Let me get to that later.
I'm not looking.
So, but look, it at least shows you that shareholders they're angry about something. As we have covered many times, the average vote against is what, 4%, 2%? What is it?
It's 96% is the average vote for, so 4% against. Yeah.
So here it's like over 30. So that you don't give investors the chance to make a unified message here. To me, should be illegal. There should not be classified boards, is what I'm saying.
And I love that we like the data providers love to think. I mean, you call it a moral victory if it's like under 10%. Or over 10% against. Yeah. I love that the data providers actually flag it as like a potential problem when it's that way.
They should be off the board if it's 30.
I mean, you might as well just like we need to change the democracy such that 10% is voted out.
Remember, and again now we're getting into the weeds here, and I'm going to bore everyone. But the general rule of thumb across the globe is that if you own 30% of shares in a company, the company is effectively considered controlled by that shareholder.
It's impossible to get anyone to vote.
Right. So if you're over 30% votes against, you should be off the board. That's It's an effective no. But anyway, no one's ever going to listen to me on that one. Let's move on.
That's correct. Give yourself a point.
The board influence of which is I think it's according to Free Flow Analytics, I think it's about 70%. Founder, CEO, and director and third largest shareholder George Kurtz. Investors would typically be best served with a board that provides an effective counterbalance to his control. Of the board's 8 independent directors, what percentage has served for at least a decade alongside Kurtz?
CrowdStrike's a recent IPO, I think, which means everybody who would have been on the board would have been a VC early director. I'm going to say all of them. I'm going to say all.
Okay, well there you're wrong. But it's still a concerning amount. Half of the board is served alongside him the whole, which means that not only does he dominate the board, but he has a bunch of his friends alongside him. So how can you even do anything at this company?
quick
question. Yeah, go ahead.
When he fires people to replace them with AI to increase innovation, should there be a rule that you have to fire that percentage of the board and replace them with AI?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he said that, yeah. Again, to counteract his control, investors should expect regular board refreshment, right? You just mentioned board refreshment.
Yeah,
How many new directors have joined the board in the last 5 years?
Oh, it can't be more than one. I think it's probably just one, right?
Yes, exactly. It's one. and what's really concerning about this, it's a woman named Johanna Flower, and she joined in 2023 in January, so she's actually been there for over 2 years. She is the only director who sits on 0 board committees. She has
finally.
She has no input anywhere. Like nothing. Like they are protecting the CEO. All right, I'm going to wrap up CrowdStrike soon. Kurtz already owns nearly $3 billion of CrowdStrike shares, about $2.7 billion. That's massive. So what would you expect the percentage of his annual pay to be consisting of equity? How much of his annual pay is equity? He already owns $3 billion in equity.
I mean, but they don't. These are the people who don't. So look.
So wouldn't you think he'd be just getting cash, right?
No, because cash has a cost attached to it. You get taxed on cash and all that kind of stuff at a higher rate than you get taxed. What people do when they're in this position is you have $3 billion in equity. You go to a bank and you say, I'd like a loan, and I would like to secure that loan with my equity. And I'm not taking out a real loan. I'm really taking out a fake loan because you're just going to get the equity and that's a transfer to you. But I get the cash, and there's not a taxable event that happens when I take out a loan. That's actually debt, right? So you want all 100% to be equity. That's what you want.
If you're the CEO,
if you're the CEO, you want 100%.
Well, you're close. It's 90%. His target equity award, he already owns $3 billion, is $35 million annually. 35. Like what is the incentive for him? I don't understand how that incentivizes anyone. I don't even know what's going on.
Then you go to the bank and you take out $35 million in cash. And as a loan, and you don't get taxed.
Let's wrap up this idiot at CrowdStrike Holdings. Finally, CrowdStrike's, you alluded to this, CrowdStrike's infamous, and that's the key word maybe there, infamous 2024 software update is commonly described as what?
Oh, yeah, it had a name, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like the Microsoft thing was the blue screen of death. That's always been like the Microsoft thing.
That's what happened. It caused a widespread blue screen of death. How is this described? This event?
I would guess it's some variation of that, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's described as the largest outage in the history of information technology.
Okay.
CrowdStrike in 2024, CrowdStrike released a software update that disrupted millions of Microsoft Windows systems around the world.
Can we workshop that name?
And I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the company that CEO George Kurtz runs and operates. So this outage had a most visible impact was the widespread and severe disruption to the global economy. The financial toll was estimated to be in the billions of dollars. Key sectors included aviation, where major airlines grounded thousands of flights; healthcare, where access to electronic health records was hindered, leading to the cancellation of surgeries and appointments; financial services, banks and financial institutions faced outages. Government and emergency services, the outage impacted various government agencies and even emergency services in some areas. This was mass, and this guy still, his target equity annual award is $35 million. I mean, this is the state of a capitalism does not focus on stakeholder capitalism. It focuses on just the share price of CrowdStrike Holdings. That's all. That's all we're focusing on. That's it. That's all we care about.
You gotta quit whining. I mean, they just
I am just parroting
computers, and
I am just parroting the sage words of the Business Roundtable, the most ardent supporters of capitalism known in the history of the world, who in 2019 said that the purpose of a corporation is to focus on things like the stakeholders.
Equity awards. Oh, stakeholders.
No,
right.
Stakeholders. Anyway.
I always
All right, I'm
that
done.
wrong.
I'm done with CrowdStrike Holdings. I have one more quick one, and we'll get out of here. I'll let you quiz me. I want to talk about Target Corporation. I want to tell you about 3 headlines that we have captured in the last few weeks. Target foot traffic is still suffering 6 months post boycott. An industry veteran says the retailer's problems are bigger than just curtailing DEI. Target boycott leader Jamal Bryant is arriving on CEO's radar screens. How about this one? Inside Target, frustrated employees in a search for a new CEO. This is from the Wall Street Journal, who claims that many Target shoppers are frustrated with the retailer. Also, many Target employees in early June. This is telling information. This is from the Wall Street Journal, remember. A company-wide survey showed that roughly half of Target's employees doesn't think that the company was making the changes necessary to compete effectively.
Ooh.
About 40% said they didn't have confidence in the company's future. 40% of their employees. That is incredible. And these scores were even lower for those staffers at Target's headquarters in Minneapolis. The worker sentiment data reflects the challenges ahead for the company as it prepares to navigate a leadership change and turn around 10 quarters of flat or falling sales in an increasingly complex consumer environment. So this is from the Wall Street Journal. I told you some of the headlines. So based on what I just told you, true or false on this next headline from Fortune? Did I make this up or is this a real headline? Target's CEO succession tilts toward an insider and company lifer. After all this, are they going to stay in-house, Matt? Or what are they going to do? Am I making that up? Or do you think they're going to go outside to fix this problem?
They went outside to get Brian Cornell, the current CEO. And just as a reminder, Brian Cornell's background, he was the CEO of Michaels, the famously overachieving, failing company, right?
Yeah.
He was on the board of directors of OfficeMax, the famously innovative and overachieving company. He was the CEO of Sam's Club, the famously less good than Costco company, right? Like, so I think going inside might not be worse.
Really?
It might not be worse.
Look, hey, this is why we had the show, to discuss these topics. But you're saying it's true.
I'm going to say it's true.
Well, you're right. The leading candidate appears to be Michael Fidelki, who has been at the company since 2003, currently as the COO. I'm sorry, but to go within the culture to fix the culture, I don't know. Good luck with that. I see your point, but it reminds me a little bit of Boeing. I think maybe you don't go for the guy who runs Michaels in OfficeMax or whatever you just said, but this seems concerning to me.
I'm just saying it's not necessarily worse. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you, but if you're an investor at Target, I hope you're paying close attention to the compensation committee because they're the ones responsible for the succession at Target, and that's chaired by a director we talk about a lot, Monica Lozano, right? She's at Apple. Yeah, I don't know where else she is, but
she's been Bank of America. She's been Bank in a bunch of places.
Yeah. So that's what's going on at Target. That's my quiz.
Comp is doing the succession,
compensation and human capital management committee. That's what it's called.
So it's just a portmanteau of all the committees.
They're responsible for CEO succession planning. Yeah.
Okay, so is it my turn now?
It's your turn.
So now we're gonna play a real game show. It's called.
You didn't like that?
It's called Who Do You Blame?
Yeah, mine was a bit long-winded and horrible, but you did learn a few things.
Mine's not less long-winded, but mine has some of the best analysis that's ever been done, and we'll get to that. All right. So first up, the first company I want to, the first thing I want to talk about is a company, CoreCivic.
I don't know. Is that a real company?
They're in the news a lot because they're one of the 2 publicly traded private prison companies.
Ugh, that's terrible.
Private prison.
Can we just not talk about it?
So you were going to be uncomfortable for a little while, but just so you know, the current CEO, Damon Hininger, is retiring. He's leaving. He's stepping down.
I just actually tagged that story this morning. Yeah,
he's stepping down. But you found some interesting information about Damon Hininger and the board. In fact, in February of 2024, the board granted him a retention bonus, a multi-year retention bonus.
In addition to his pay.
In addition to his pay, it was a special
Great.
one-time award consisting of 70,000 shares.
Great.
They valued it at $1 million, right?
Lucky him.
Special one-time award. And this is the quote, is designed to incentivize Mr. Hininger performance and retain him for a multi-year period.
Yeah.
So on just like yesterday, they announced that he's stepping down. So multi-year was 1 year. It was a 1 year retention award.
I don't understand that at all.
I did also see when I searched for Damon Hininger, he put up a website that looks a lot like a political website. It talks about how he's like a devoted family man and all the awards he's won, and it's DamonHininger.com. And it's like, it looks like he's setting up for a run for something. So that's my prediction.
Yeah. Damon, we don't need you.
Here is the question for you.
Go ahead.
Because 97% of investors voted for the pay, that special one-time bonus. Everybody's okay with it, including the fact that if none of the 4 strategic goals set out for the CEO by the board are achieved, he still gets 80% of his bonus, not even 75. He gets 80%. He has to do nothing they set out for him to do for him to make 80% of his money. Who do you blame for paying a multi-year retention bonus to a CEO who quits in 1 year? Who do you blame?
Yeah.
Do you blame the pay committee, which includes Chair Mark Emkes,
Chair of the board.
Chair of the board. He's been there for 11 years, 17% influence. John Pran, who's got 13% of the influence on the board, he's been there for 25 years.
Oh, wow.
And then
which is telling, because I know that Hininger has been at the company for 30 years, roughly.
Well, Hininger's like been doing stuff on the board for 30 years.
He started as a correctional officer at the company in the 90s.
Yes, yeah, he was the guy wearing the suit.
Can you imagine? Yeah,
I don't
want
to imagine that. No, I don't want to imagine that. Do you blame Thurgood Marshall Jr.?
Oh,
who's the chair of the compensation committee?
I don't want to do that because I love his dad.
I'm sorry, he's not the chair. He's just a member. The chair is actually Alex Fisher. Alex Fisher is the chair of the compensation committee. Do you blame them? Do you blame Donald Trump?
Ooh.
Because CoreCivic donated to Donald Trump to get him elected.
Yeah,
and since he's been elected, his
his
immigration orders have swelled the amount of work that Hininger had to do. He wanted the money, but I think maybe not the work. I think maybe he's burnt out with the excitement of detaining people.
Gross. Yeah.
Can we blame Donald Trump? Do we blame the fact that there's 0 female board leadership on this company?
That's shocking. Well, good. I got to say, for once, good for the women to stay away from this company.
Yeah, there's no mom there to say this is all a bad idea.
Because if they probably did let women in this company, they'd probably be like, we need to shut this company down. We shouldn't have privately run prisons. That's horrible.
Do you blame the amount of the award? $1 million? It's 2025. Aren't we supposed to get 20, 30, 70 million? We saw a retention bonus for $120 million.
Okay.
For a CEO like a month ago.
Wait, I'm blaming the amount of the award for the award?
Like, you're kind of blaming the pay committee for paying the award and it didn't work, or you blame them for paying it and it was too small. They should have been a bigger one. The amount of the award is horrible. Do you blame the amount of the award?
Wow, this is like infinite jest. Bigger. Yeah, go ahead.
Or do you blame the prisoners themselves who keep claiming that their prisons are dangerous because there have been more than 120 reports in the last 10 years that found CoreCivic was complicit in family separations, death, they had canceled contracts due to conditions in the prisons and other human rights violations. Do you blame the prisoners for not just sucking it up and making it easy for Damon Hininger to stick around? So your pay committee, Donald Trump, 0 female board leadership. The award was too small, or the prisoners themselves.
I'm tempted to add the student at Belmont University who they actually Hinninger was on the board of trustees of Belmont University, and the students protested to remove him because he's the CEO of Core Civic.
You can't add things.
Okay,
these are the only options.
But I'm mad at the students though because they're acting like how investors should act. Why is it okay for a student to protest a board member, but investors are not allowed to have a say?
They're not allowed to have a say. Yeah,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna blame the lack of female board leadership because it just means that it's the stench of the men around who are
man stench.
It's the man stench.
Got it. Man
that
stench.
created this ridiculous retention award.
The boards are incredibly dank with man stench.
Yeah, you don't need to throw another $1 million at a CEO who has made
swampy boards,
probably hundreds of millions of dollars already.
All right,
yeah.
Number 2, and who do you blame?
Yeah, I didn't like that first one. Yeah.
The company at question here is O'Reilly Automotive.
Okay, now this I like. I like companies like this, and I kind of know where you're going with this because I remember O'Reilly because we've talked about them.
We've talked about them. What did we talk about when we talked about
their wardrobe?
Them? Yes, that's correct. We did. Bonus point. We talked about the wardrobe. In fact, in the proxy statement, first appearing in 2021, the board was almost entirely dressed in orange O'Reilly Automotive shirts at the time.
Well, see, this surprises me because I actually was in the proxy statement recently, and I noticed they were wearing blue shirts. I didn't know there was a change.
They changed to blue in 2024. Actually, there's even more updates. It gets better. Okay.
Yeah.
This is arguably the best research of corporate governance I've ever done in my life.
Yes.
Since 2021. Since the introduction of the O'Reilly uniform to board members, directors who wear the uniform average 92.9% votes for, while directors who do not wear the uniform average 96.8% for.
Wait, what? Okay.
If you're not wearing a uniform in your picture, you're guaranteed to get more votes.
But can I throw a wrench into this? Because I did happen to notice that there was a woman up for nomination this year. She's a nominee. She's never been on the board, and thus they haven't given her the shirt yet. So does that skew your results?
Because it doesn't. I've corrected for these results. Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Who do we blame for the uniform discount?
Okay.
Who do we blame?
So you're saying the investors are more likely to vote against you if you're wearing the uniform.
If you're wearing the uniform.
Okay.
Do we blame the old timers?
I have
the
an answer
average
for this.
start year for uniform wearers is 1998. Is the average start year for them.
Okay.
And if you're a non-executive director, the average start year for a uniform wearer was 2006. If you're not a uniform wearer, your average start year was 2021, the year they introduced the uniforms in the first place.
Does that mean you're more likely like a woman or person of color since you're like a more recent director?
Well, it turns out that there were women who wore the uniform and women who didn't. But there is one person of color on this board, a black man who's never worn the uniform.
Yeah.
He was like, no,
that should be investigated. That should be investigated. By the
should be
FCC.
investigated.
Yeah.
It's like that's like almost reverse DEI, isn't it? Like
No, it just sounds like old-fashioned racism is what it sounds like.
So do we blame the old timers, the ones who've been around for a long time? Do we blame the color orange?
Why?
Because the orange shirt wearers averaged 90.4%, but the blue got 92.6%. So when they switched
that's why they switched.
They got more votes for.
Well, orange was probably a little bit too feminine, I'm guessing.
And let me tell you something.
Yeah.
We are not talking about a board that has refreshed itself dramatically.
No,
we are talking about two new directors since 2021. Yeah. This is very little refreshment. The things that changed are the uniforms. That's what changed.
It's a lot of directors that the SEC refers to as those who need to put sunscreen on their heads when they go to the beach.
Yeah, there is a lot. There's a lot of bald on this board.
Yeah.
Do we blame having a third of your board be executives?
Executives at O'Reilly?
They were either O'Reillys. There are two O'Reillys, like
because
John
they're
and David
family
O'Reilly.
members.
They're family members.
Sons of the founder.
This is not major shareholders, though. This is just family members who keep getting on the board.
Company, no? There's probably sons of the founder, I'm guessing.
They're sons of the founder. That's correct.
And then there's Nepo O'Reillys.
There's two ex-CEOs, Greg Hensley
of the company.
Of the company itself.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
like,
good luck in that boardroom. Good luck being a new person in that boardroom.
In fact, there's 1 year where there were 2 ex-executives and 2 O'Reilly brothers on the board out of 12 people. So fully a third of the board were executives. So the peer pressure to wear the uniform from the executives must be really high. It's amazing
that man is not. What's the guy's name who doesn't wear the shirt? Do you know?
We'll get to him.
Okay, that's an amazing person. Yeah,
he is amazing.
Brave, very brave.
Do we blame the shirts themselves?
Oh,
because we have 2 case studies of directors, Maria Sastra and Andrea Weiss, both women, who between 2023 and 2024 went from not wearing the shirt to wearing the shirt.
Well, maybe she knew something was up.
In both cases, votes dropped by an average of 2%. Nothing else changed about the company. I am not
stupid.
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding though.
I know one nerdy fact from the show The Office, the American Office. One is that they shoot these talking heads with the people who work there, and if they're people who eventually get to leave the company, that they go off to do other things, they shoot them with the window to the exterior world behind them. If they never leave the company, they shoot them with an interior shot. I think what you're saying is the same at O'Reilly. There is meaning behind who is wearing the shirt and who is not, right? You're saying there is some kind of corporate meaning to these shirts.
Look, think about it.
Yeah.
If you take a headshot, like these directors are professionals, they're taking professional headshots and they're going from company to company. If they are standing there saying like, I'm not wearing that shirt, use my old headshot, sorry, I'm not getting a new headshot. You're already pointing out potential dissent in the boardroom.
Yes,
these are people who are not willing to just like go put on a shirt because everyone else has got a shirt on, particularly for a company like O'Reilly Automotive that, like you're happy to be on the board, but this is your career. You don't want to look like an idiot.
Can I ask you a data-related question on this? Because you did the data collection here. How did you? I noticed that one of the blue shirts looked a little bit different than the other blue shirts. Does that one count?
I gave him credit for that because I think he wanted to fit in, but didn't have the actual shirt at the time.
And the other question is, do you think that there's like a collection of shirts? Like, I've never actually been to a country club, but I've heard that like they have jackets at the door. Like if you don't have a jacket, they have like extra jackets so you can go eat your horrible like tuna casserole, whatever.
It's a good question.
Do you think they have blue shirts at the boardroom, like extra blue shirts?
I think they do. I think they have a closet full of them, and they ask them to put them on over their.
Ridiculous.
Do we blame lead independent director Tom Hendrickson, who's been on the board for 15 years? He was the CFO at a number of sports retail stores. He's 70 years old. He lists technology as one of his core skills.
I doubt that, yeah.
I don't think technology is a core skill of yours, Tom. Yeah. Or do we that's all the blame game. And then I have a bonus question for you just about this.
Okay, so
old timers, the color orange, the executives on the board, the shirts themselves, just being forced to wear the shirt, or Tom Hendrickson, fake lead independent director. Fake independent director.
I was tempted to pick the shirts themselves because I think I think there's like a Stephen King-esque quality to these shirts. There's a special power that we don't understand. But I'm gonna actually go
crazy.
But since it's 2025 and we're in this like insipid age of misogyny, I'm gonna go to the color itself because orange. What I suspect is that men were upset. They were subconsciously upset because I thought it was too feminine or something. They thought it was too
the orange,
unmanly.
So then when they went to blue, but look, this is the worst part about this is it seems stupid, and it is. Stupid.
It is stupid. Yeah.
But
again,
there
I
is
applaud
real
O'Reilly.
data.
I wish all companies would do this.
There is real data behind this, as in some of these people would get less votes, and you're not talking about they get voted out, but they're getting less votes when shirts change. Why?
Because as we pointed out, show after show, is that it is difficult to understand the sentiment of voters, right? Like it's almost impossible. So
there is now academic research that's been done that shows that investors will actually vote for people that are more attractive, more symmetrical. They vote who look more like them. They vote based on the way people look in a statistically significant way. They vote the way people look more than they will on performance. There is actually no linkage of director performance individually on the board across multiple companies and votes, but there is a linkage between the way they look. So if you are putting on a dopey blue shirt or a orange jumpsuit, there is a real thing that happens where investors look at you and say, this is dopey, and they might vote against you.
You know what I'm also thinking here, and then we can move on because we're really like hammering this one to death, but happily, because this is one of my favorite topics. I'm wondering if the blue shirts pick up armpit sweat stains more.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they.
I'm wondering if investors just analyze the sweat stains, and if you didn't have enough sweat, they think you weren't working hard, so they voted against you.
They just look for grease.
They could see the sweat.
I do have a bonus prediction question.
Ahead.
This is not a quiz. This is just a bonus prediction. This year in 2025 on the website, all directors have been forced to wear the shirts. All.
That's true. Okay.
They have a variety of O'Reilly shirts now. They're not just blue or orange. Which director will get the least votes? The ones wearing the blue shirt, the pink shirt, the plaid shirt, the green shirt, or the cream shirt?
Well, according to my math, because you had orange was worse than blue, so I'm going to say that pink is worse than orange. I'm going to go pink.
So by that, we are like one of the...
Although, I got to say, I will add, though, that pink is a confusing color in this world because while pink is usually associated with women, pink is oddly also associated with old, moneyed, like waspy, bald guys.
True. Very true.
So it's country club pink. So maybe I'm wrong, but I'm still going to go with pink.
So you're absolutely wrong because David O'Reilly, the remaining O'Reilly on the board, is the one in the pink shirt.
He doesn't care what anyone thinks.
But now that Fred Whitfield, you asked who was the brave black man who refused to wear the shirt. Now that Fred Whitfield has caved and put on the slightly, Kelly Green O'Reilly shirt, I'm thinking green is probably... my guess is you're going to see Fred Whitfield get a drop in his votes.
Moving on. Come on, killing me.
Second, who do you blame?
Yeah.
Palantir Technologies.
15th. Yeah, go ahead. Oh,
here's the headlines.
Do we have to talk about them? Yeah.
We don't have to talk about them a lot.
Alex Karp,
Palantir CEO Alex Karp, he took a shot at elite colleges. He says...
Despite having gone to elite colleges.
He said basically that going to his company is worth more than you're going to get from any elite colleges.
Which means nothing to me. I don't know how he quantifies that, but yeah. He's just looking at it in terms of a paycheck? Is that all he's looking at?
I don't know. He said it's better than a degree from Harvard. That's what he said.
Because the value of a degree from any university is only measured in dollars, right? It's not about anything else.
He said, quote, no one cares about the other stuff.
Right, nobody.
I think the other stuff is education.
No one cares.
That's the other stuff.
Right.
No one cares.
Nobody cares, Alex.
Which elite is to blame for Karp's hatred of elites?
Oh.
Is it board member and VC bro Alex Moore, who got his bachelor's in econ from Stanford?
That's pretty elite, yeah. Who else?
Board member. It's on Alex Karp, Palantir's board. Is it board member and journalist Alexandra Schiff, who got her bachelor's in English from Duke?
Oh, does that count? I mean, that's elitist, but English degree, sounds like a what a woman would do.
This is why I'm asking. Who am I blaming here? Because
Duke
is pretty elite, but English is not.
Pretty elite. It's damn elite. Keep going.
Board member and co-founder Stephen Cohen, who got his bachelor's in computer science from Stanford.
Oh, back to Stanford. Good. That's elite.
Do we blame board member, troll, and insecure VC Peter Thiel, who got his bachelor's in philosophy from Stanford?
Yes, I know that. He's a Stanford
and his law degree from Stanford.
Wait, he's on this board? I didn't actually know he was on this board. Okay, who else? Who else?
Do we blame board member and consultant Lauren Statt, who got a dual degree in science and math from Stanford?
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding.
So this guy who went to all elite universities surrounds himself with only elite directors? And he's shouting, he's pissing on elite education.
Do we blame board member and VC bro Eric Warshing, who got a bachelor's and a master's in electrical engineering
from
Stanford?
From Stanford, yeah.
Do we blame Stanford? Was the experience so bad? Because Alex Karp went to Stanford. alongside all of these morons.
And what, Haverford,
and then went his law degree from Stanford.
With why Peter can't Thiel. I blame? Why can't I can't blame Alex Karp though? Right?
No, you can't blame.
Well,
Alex
this
Karp
is easy.
We're trying to figure out why he hates everybody.
This is easy for me. Simple. We blame the woman who got an English degree from Duke.
There it is. That's
right?
What we're talking about, right?
You can't blame Stanford for this. What does Stanford have to do with it?
Well,
nothing.
The weird thing is Alex Karp is a dual-class shareholder. He controls the company and the board, and he handpicks the board members.
And the board's controlled by Stanford graduates, but Stanford has nothing to do with this.
And somehow
elites have nothing to do with this.
He picked someone who got their bachelor's in English from Duke.
I'm sorry, but when I'm president and I'm rewriting the rules for listing exchanges in the SEC, this itself, this case study means that you're gonna get kicked off exchanges if you complain about elite universities while all your friend group, your whole company is run by elite people. You don't get to trade your company.
Is there a more hypocritical blowhard than
this
a guy who says
is the worst? This guy's the worst.
Elite colleges are a waste. He's better than
no one cares about the other stuff. So no one cares about being educated.
And he handpicks an entire board full of people with elite degrees from the elitist of elite colleges.
Despite the fact, knowing full well that American corporations, our advances in technology and science wouldn't be possible without our great university system.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Alex Karp.
What
a
idiot.
winner.
All right, can we get out of this? You're killing
Last question. There's only 3 options of who to blame here. I saw the headline, Mark Cuban calls for higher tax on companies buying back their shares.
Yes, I love
this. This is about Visa. Visa's mentioned in that article.
Okay.
Visa, between October 2024 and June 2025, bought back $13.4 billion worth of shares. 13.4 billion. 4 billion October to December, 4.8 Jan to March, and 4.6 April to June. That's all in their disclosures. Just so you know, the price has risen in the time they've been buying back shares from $274.95 a share, about $275 a share, to $355 per share in that time frame.
So instead of contributing to the debt they're creating with the American consumer by having outrageous, fees for their usage of their credit cards and interest rates and all that, they're buying back their own shares.
They're buying back their shares. Do we blame, as of December proxy, CEO Ryan McInerney?
Yeah.
Inerney. I don't know how to say it. Inerney.
Yeah, I like the second try. Yeah.
Who owns 822,000 shares worth over $259 million.
So he's just benefiting from this buyback.
In fact, there's academic evidence that buybacks boost investor returns. And as a massive shareholder himself with that much money, he made a cool $28 million between when they started buying back the shares and now.
Can the game end with that choice, or do I have to have other choices?
Months. Do we blame board chair John Lundgren, who's been on the board for 7 years? He took over his chair from executive chair Al Kelly. Do you remember Al Kelly, the ex-CEO of Visa? Kelly left with 589 shares of his own. So, but do we blame the board chair, or do we blame Francisco Fernandez Carbajal, who's a director who's been there for 17 years.
Okay.
He's the only director on the board. He has the most shares of any non-executive on the board with 31,000 shares, and he's on the comp and finance committees. Do we blame him for basically saying this is a great way to pay myself? So your options are CEO Ryan McInerney, board chair John Lundgren.
Come on, this is too easy.
And Francisco
the absolute
Fernandez Carbajal.
Answer is CEO Ryan McInerney. And by the way, shout out to our sponsors. Our show today was sponsored by FreeFlowAnalytics.com.
Not Visa.
The only platform measuring board power connections and performance for free. And once again, thank you to Lila McClellan. That's it.
Yeah, that's all we got. You gotta go. I gotta go.
Really, this guy. how could you be allowed to orchestrate a buyback when you yourself are benefiting? Where are the shareholders? The shareholders should be voting on. I mean, they
all got paid.
Yes anyway,
they got greased, baby. Everybody got greased.
Crazy.
That's Hazelnut Rallis. I'm your analyst, Tom Mamscar.
I do say crazy a lot. You're right. Lila's right. I do say crazy a lot.
Come back on Friday to wrap up the week. In fact, we're going to start relaunching in the next couple weeks Proxy Countdown. I think we might have a different format for it, or try some stuff. But we also have a zine.
Yes.
Get the zine. And all you have to do to get the zine, which has got information, data, the snark, the jokes, but a ton of information in it, is sign up on freeflowanalytics.com, our sponsor, with your email. That's it. There's
or hit us up, one of us on LinkedIn. We'll get you on the list. Listen,
it's super simple.
If you happen to work at a university or an elite university print out, get the zine, print it out, and put it somewhere so the students can get it.
It's fold it up. There's instructions in it.
If you hate Alex Karp the way we do, come on, hand it out.
That's it. Come back later this week. Until then, goodbye.